What would you like to do in the future, career-wise?
Well, actually, there's so many different fields to go into now, and so many that I want to go into, that right now I'm just taking different courses in school.
She got stomach cancer, and my mom really helped her tremendously as much as she could, but it was just too far along.
Did you know that there was a tragic secret about Family Matters Michelle died with? I mean, Family Matters was a popular TV show that made people laugh, but behind the scenes, there was a heartbreaking story.
And my mom really helped her tremendously as much as she could, but it was just too far along.
From cast members who were upset with the direction the show and its focus on just Urkel and not the Winslow family, to Judy Winslow, played by Jaimee Foxworth, who one day vanished. No one in the show mentioned her again. It was like she never existed.
A family. You gave me 3 kids. You took away my baby. If you had taken away my oldest child, like she was in the backyard or she was with her friends, you took away my baby. And when I asked you, why did you take away the baby girl, you said nobody would notice.
And there is Darius McCrary, who got a restraining order because he was accused of being violent and abusive. Many fans did not know what their on-screen faves were going through. Let's delve into more details.
Can you believe what's happening? My little doodle bug floating out in space all by his lonesome.
Michelle was born on September 23, 1968, in Brooklyn, New York. She grew up in Montclair, New Jersey. Her mother, Finjuar Thomas, was a stage actress, and her father, Dennis D.T. Thomas, was a musician and a founding member of the famous band Kool and the Gang.
I'm a longtime fan of your father's and the band, and now I'm a fan of yours.
Thank you.
Despite having famous parents, Michelle wanted to make it on her own. She didn't use her father's name to get ahead in Hollywood. She wanted to build her career by herself. When Michelle Thomas was just 15 years old, she traveled to Montego Bay, Jamaica. She competed against 35 other girls from different states and countries in a talent contest. Her skills stood out, and she won the title of Miss Talented Teen International.
I won a diamond ring, a fur jacket, a cash scholarship for college, and I won various trips and prizes.
This was a big moment in her early career. It showed the world that she had something special. Just a year later, when she was 16, she got a recording contract. But instead of focusing on music, she moved to Los Angeles to chase her dream of becoming an actress. Michelle started her career in 1983. Her first time on TV was not in a show, but in a commercial. It was a small start, but it was just the beginning. In December 1984, fresh from winning her pageant, she appeared on Soul Train with Hal Jackson. People loved her charm and energy. She had a special way of connecting with the audience.
What would you like to do in the future, career-wise?
Well, actually, there's so many different fields to go into now, and so many that I want to go into, that right now I'm just taking different courses in school. And soon, I will know what I would like to be.
Between 1988 and 1990, Michelle got her first big role on The Cosby Show. She played Justine Phillips, the girlfriend of Theo Huxtable.
Michelle Thomas. Michelle played Justine on The Cosby Show, who of course was Theo's girlfriend.
They had been friends before they worked together, and they had a romantic relationship for about 5 or 6 years.
This was her first major TV role, and it made her more popular. She also appeared in other TV shows, including A Man Called Hawk in 1989 and Thea in 1994. During this time, she also acted in movies like Dream Date in 1989 and Hangin' with the Homeboys in 1991.
I can think of a better way to use our lips.
In 1993, Michelle got the role that many people remember her for. She played Myra Monkhouse on the sitcom Family Matters. Myra was the girlfriend of Steve Urkel, and she was funny, smart, and lovable. Michelle played this role until the show ended in 1998. Many fans of the show felt that Myra was perfect for Steve Urkel. She loved him for who he was. Unlike Laura Winslow, who spent years rejecting Urkel, Myra saw how special he was from the start. She shared his interests, played the accordion, and came from a rich and classy family. She was just like him, but the writers of the show made Steve end up with Laura instead. This upset many fans who believed Myra was the better choice. Watching the show now, many people still feel frustrated about how things ended. Myra truly loved Steve, but it seemed like she was always begging for his love. It was hard to watch because she deserved better. Steve spent years chasing Laura, who never really liked him, while Myra was there the whole time. As much as people loved the show, this part of the story didn't make sense. Even today, many fans feel disappointed by how Myra's character was treated. Because of her illness, the producers cut down her screen time a lot. She wasn't able to be in many episodes, and that was disappointing. It felt like she deserved more respect in the show. After Family Matters ended, Michelle took on a role in The Young and the Restless. She played Callie Rogers, an aspiring singer and love interest of Malcolm Winters. Michelle was very health conscious. She was a vegetarian, and she never smoked or drank alcohol. That's why it was such a shock when she was diagnosed with stomach cancer. People couldn't believe it. How could someone so young, who took such good care of herself, get so sick? It didn't seem fair, but life doesn't always work the way we expect, and unfortunately, she passed away far too soon. Michelle faced many struggles. She faced a lot of stress. When Family Matters ended, Michelle had a hard time finding work. The entertainment industry can be tough, even for talented actors. Many of her cast members also faced financial struggles. Some had mismanaged their money, while others simply couldn't find good roles. At one point, Michelle worked as a waitress to make ends meet. She didn't want people in Los Angeles to see her waiting tables, so she took a job far away in Palmdale. She kept a low profile and didn't talk about it much. Eventually, Michelle found acting work again. She landed a role on The Young and the Restless. It was a good opportunity, but during this time, she faced another battle: stomach cancer. Michelle's illness was aggressive. Her treatment was extremely difficult. She had to take strong sedatives that were meant to help her sleep for short periods, but they would sometimes knock her out for days. Her body, small and fragile, struggled with the harsh medical procedures. Her mother was by her side throughout her battle. She did everything she could to help Michelle, but unfortunately, the cancer had already spread too far. Michelle did not want chemotherapy. She was afraid that the treatment would ruin her chances of having children. She dreamed of becoming a mother one day. Sadly, she never got that chance.
At every point in her life, Michelle has always made the highest choice. And I kind of hold the way I live my life up against how she lived her life.
Even with her illness, Michelle kept pushing forward. She had surgery to remove a large tumor from her abdomen. The tumor was the size of a lemon. After recovering from the operation, she went back to work. She continued acting on The Young and the Restless, but her fight was not over. In October 1998, doctors found another cancerous tumor. This time, the tumor had ruptured. She needed another major surgery. After being released from the hospital, she returned home to New Jersey to be with her family. She wanted to spend Thanksgiving with her loved ones. Sadly, her condition got worse. On December 23, 1998, Michelle passed away. She was only 30 years old. She died at Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center in Manhattan. Michelle's former boyfriend, Malcolm-Jamal Warner, was by her side when she passed. The two had dated from 1988 to 1994.
When Michelle made her transition and went on to glory, Malcolm was right there.
Even though they broke up, they remained close friends. Her mother called Malcolm the love of Michelle's life. She believed he was her only serious boyfriend. The day before Michelle died, she whispered the words, "elephant juice," to Malcolm. These words look like "I love you" when spoken. It was a secret phrase they used while dating.
She loved Malcolm so much and he loved her. They were the cutest couple.
Michelle's death was heartbreaking for everyone who knew her. Malcolm said she was one of the most inspirational people in his life.
When I think about the people who have been most inspirational to me, I'd have to put Michelle at the top of that list.
He admired her strength, kindness, and pure heart. Michelle was given a proper Muslim funeral on December 26, 1998. She took her faith seriously and was dedicated to her beliefs. Her family prepared her body with oils and dressed her in white, as is custom in Muslim traditions. She was then laid to rest in her home state of New Jersey. Jaleel White, who played Steve Urkel on Family Matters, spoke about Michelle years later. In a 2017 interview, he became emotional when talking about her. He said she was like a big sister to him. He remembered how everyone in the industry loved her. She had many friends in the music world and entertainment industry.
I never had an intimate relationship with Michelle. She really was like a big sister to me.
He shared how much her passing hurt him and the rest of the cast. He wrote about her in his book, remembering her as a wonderful person. He talked about how Hollywood was not always kind to Michelle after Family Matters ended. She struggled to find work because people didn't see her as edgy enough for certain roles. Even though she was very talented, she faced many challenges in the industry.
When the show went down, a lot of realities for a lot of us kicked in. And moving on as an actress, I think Michelle ran into some difficulty.
At one point, Michelle decided to step away from acting. She wanted to avoid the unfair treatment she was facing. As earlier mentioned, she took a job as a waitress in Palmdale, California, far away from Hollywood. Jaleel later found out that his mother, Gail, knew about Michelle's struggles, but never told him. She kept Michelle's secret until she passed away.
And my mom really helped her tremendously, as much as she could, but it was just too far along.
So even if Family Matters had a reboot, it wouldn't be the same without Michelle Thomas. Jaleel White, who played Steve Urkel, has said he wouldn't want a reboot, and that makes sense. He went through a lot on that show, and without Michelle, it just wouldn't feel right. If there was ever a reboot, Myra should be with someone better, not Steve, because he didn't treat her right. Michelle was different from many Hollywood stars. She didn't seek fame for the sake of fame. Even though she had opportunities to take shortcuts in the industry, Michelle refused. Some people in Hollywood get ahead by doing things they might not be proud of. But Michelle wasn't like that.
There was still enough innocent characters in the 90s fame game who were just themselves. Everybody loved them, and they fell into this life. And Michelle Thomas is that for me.
She wanted to succeed on her own terms, with talent and hard work. She never wanted to change herself just to fit in. Because of this, she may not have reached the highest level of fame, but she earned respect from those who knew her. She was genuine, kind, and had a big heart. Everyone who worked with her had only good things to say about her. Rest in peace, Michelle Thomas. Your light still shines in the hearts of those who loved you. The people who worked with her remembered her as kind, funny, and very professional. Now let's look at other behind-the-scenes secret. So did you know that Urkel was not supposed to be a big part of the show? He was only meant to appear in one episode. But people loved the nerdy character so much that the producers decided to keep him.
Wow, are you wearing a bra?
Over time, Urkel became the most popular character, and the show focused more on him. While this was great for White's career, not everyone in the cast was happy about it. Some of them felt like the show was supposed to be about the Winslow family, not just Urkel. Reginald VelJohnson, who played Carl Winslow,
I don't have any kids of my own. Oh. And I had to get used to being a father.
You never would have known.
Never would have known.
Oh, I missed you so much today, Daddy.
Oh, I missed you too.
has said that working with White was sometimes difficult.
Working with him was a challenge. There were some moments when he was a little difficult, but overall, I have nothing but good memories for him.
Jo Marie Payton, who played Carl's wife, Harriet, also talked about challenges with White on set. Over the years, both actors have shared their feelings about how the show changed. They admitted that Urkel's popularity made things different. and not everyone was happy about it.
He didn't have the etiquette that maybe I and some others had. There was one time he actually wanted to physically fight me. I was going to go in there and whip his behind. I was going to whip his behind.
Recently, Jaleel White responded to these comments in an interview. He talked about how he was very young when he started working on Family Matters. He was just 13 years old when he joined the show. White said that as a kid, he always carried a basketball around on set. He liked to dribble it while waiting for his scenes. This annoyed some people, but he didn't see it as a big deal. He also mentioned that he was raised to respect his elders, so he never argued with the older cast members. Jo Marie Payton once said that White would sometimes run wild on set and say things that hurt people's feelings. However, she later softened her words. She said that she always saw him as a child, no matter how old he got. She also said she forgave everything because she had a big heart. Reginald VelJohnson also spoke about his experiences with White. He admitted that White was sometimes difficult to work with, but he still had good memories of their time together. He explained that working on a TV show is challenging for everyone, not just one person. Even though there were some issues on set, White had a successful run on Family Matters. He played Urkel for 9 seasons, from 1989 to 1998. During that time, he won several NAACP Image Awards for his performance. People loved his character's catchphrases like, "Did I do that?" and his nerdy personality. Urkel became one of the most famous TV characters of the 1990s.
Did I do that?
White has also talked about the possibility of a Family Matters reboot. He said he was offered a role in a new version of the show, but he turned it down. He explained that he was offered less money than before, and he didn't even get to see a script. He felt like it was just a way for the network to make quick money. White said that if he ever worked on something related to Family Matters again, he would want to do it in a way that respects the show's legacy and helps younger actors in the industry. Recently, White released a book called Growing Up Urkel. In the book, he shares stories about his time on Family Matters and how it affected his life. He also talks about some surprising things that happened behind the scenes. For example, he revealed that the show's executives asked him to wear looser pants because they thought his tight overalls made his bulge too noticeable. This was something he never expected to be an issue.
You okay?
Despite any past disagreements, Family Matters remains a beloved show. Many fans still enjoy watching reruns and remembering the fun moments. White's portrayal of Urkel left a lasting impact on pop culture, even though his character was originally supposed to appear only once. He ended up becoming the heart of the show. This proves how sometimes unexpected things can change everything.
I'm drunk on you, baby.
White has continued to act in different projects over the years. He has appeared in TV shows and movies, but most people still remember him as Urkel. Even though playing Urkel made him famous, it also made it hard for him to find new roles. Many people only saw him as the nerdy character, and he struggled to be seen as anything else. Still, White has remained positive and continues to work in Hollywood. Also, in the first 4 seasons of Family Matters, the Winslow family had 3 kids, Eddie, Laura, and the youngest, Judy. She was played by Jaimee Foxworth, but one day she just disappeared. No one in the show mentioned her again. It was like she never existed. Fans were confused. Did something happen to her character? Was there a reason she was gone? Some even joked that maybe Steve Urkel used one of his crazy inventions to erase her from the family. But the real reason was much simpler.
Daddy, you gotta help me. Mom will kill me.
Well, take it easy, sweetheart.
Jaimee Foxworth later explained that the producers just decided to get rid of her character. She said they thought no one would notice. They didn't give any reason for her leaving, and they didn't even try to explain it in the story. Foxworth felt like she was just thrown away without any respect. Some of her cast members knew she was going to be written off before she did.
A family. You gave me 3 kids. You took away my baby. If you had taken away my oldest child, we could have always come up with an excuse that she was
We would have been happy.
That she was in the Malcolm-Jamal or she was with her friends. You took away my baby. And when I asked you, why did you take away the baby girl, you said nobody would notice.
Her TV mom, Jo Marie Payton, tried to convince the producers to keep Judy in the show, but they didn't listen. Foxworth was heartbroken. She had been on the show since she was a little girl, and suddenly, she was out of work. After leaving Family Matters, Foxworth tried to continue her career in entertainment. She turned to music and joined her 2 older sisters in a singing group called SHE. They released 1 album in 1997, but it didn't do well. The group didn't last long, and Foxworth was left struggling again. She needed money, and at 19 years old, she made a big decision. She went back to acting, but this time, it was in adult films. She used the name Crave and appeared in several films. She later admitted that she got into the adult industry, partly because she grew up in a very strict home and wanted to rebel. But she also said she never felt comfortable with that kind of work. She didn't like seeing herself in those movies, and after a few years, she decided to stop. Even after leaving the adult film industry, Foxworth had more struggles. In the 2000s, she became very dependent on alcohol and marijuana. She said she had depression, and instead of getting help, she tried to escape by drinking and smoking weed. She spent a lot of time alone in her room, getting high. She cut herself off from friends and family. She didn't have many people around her, and she started feeling even worse. One day, she realized she needed to make a change. She decided to get help before things got worse. In 2008, she appeared on the reality show Celebrity Rehab with Dr. Drew. She was trying to overcome her addiction. But even after that, she continued smoking marijuana for a little while. The real turning point came when she found out she was pregnant. That was when she finally stopped using drugs for good. She wanted to be a better person for her child.
Hi, Dad. Sorry we woke you. We've been hanging out down here since 10:58.
Darius McCrary, best known for playing Judy Winslow on Family Matters, had a very difficult divorce from his ex-wife, Tammy Bronner. Their relationship was full of problems, and things got worse when they started accusing each other of abuse. At one point, Bronner got a restraining order against McCrary, and just 2 weeks later, he got one against her. McCrary said that Bronner was violent and even threw a hot iron at him, which left a burn on his chest. The court told both of them to stay away from each other. But soon after that, Bronner decided to file for divorce. She said they had too many problems that could not be fixed. She also asked the court to stop McCrary from seeing their daughter until he got help for substance abuse and completed domestic violence programs.
It's been a really ugly experience of what the court system can do to men who really want to be in their children's lives, man.
After almost 2 years of fighting in court, they finally reached a divorce agreement. The judge gave Bronner full custody of their daughter. McCrary was allowed to visit her once a week, but at first, he had to be supervised by a court-appointed person for 20 visits. The court also ordered him to go to parenting classes and get help for his issues with alcohol, drugs, and violence. On top of that, McCrary had to pay child support every month. The amount was set at $1,366, which was a lot more than what he used to pay. Back in 2018, McCrary had told the court that he was only making about $462 a month from his acting jobs. Because of his low income, he was only ordered to pay $29 per month in child support. But later, the court increased the amount, and he had to pay much more. McCrary was not the only Family Matters star with personal struggles. His co-star Jaleel White, who played Steve Urkel, also had serious issues in his relationship. In 2012, his ex-girlfriend Bridget Hardy, who was also the mother of his child, accused him of being She said that 2 years earlier, she had found proof that he was cheating on her. When she confronted him about it, he got very angry and hit her on the chest. She also claimed that he pushed her so hard that she fell into a toilet, which broke. When Hardy told her story to the media, White denied everything. He said that she was only making these accusations because she wanted to get an advantage in their child custody case. He claimed that when a person is doing well, others try to bring them down. He also said it was especially painful because Hardy was the mother of his only child. And that is all for today. Until next time, bye.